If you took this one common vitamin last night, you might have unknowingly increased your risk of a stroke while you slept. Not because the vitamin is bad, but because your body was never meant to receive it in the way most people take it. Every day, millions of people reach for a small capsule, convinced they're protecting their heart, their brain, and their longevity. They've read the articles. They've watched the advertisements. They've been told by friends, influencers, even doctors, that this vitamin is essential for life. But what if I told you that the way most people take it could actually increase the risk of a stroke overnight? Every day, millions of people reach for a small capsule, convinced they're protecting their heart, their brain, and their longevity. They've read the articles, they've watched the advertisements, they've been told by friends, influencers, even doctors, that this vitamin is essential for life. But what if I told you that the way most people take it could actually increase the risk of a stroke overnight? I'm talking about a vitamin that's supposed to protect your blood vessels, but can, under the wrong circumstances, turn into a silent saboteur inside your arteries. This isn't fear-mongering. This is biology. What we're about to uncover could change how you take supplements for the rest of your life. Because when it comes to brain health, the line between protection and danger is razor thin. One wrong dose, one wrong timing, or one wrong combination, and what you thought was healing your body could actually be harming it. So stay with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal not only which vitamin can raise your stroke risk overnight, but also how to take it the right way to protect your brain, your blood vessels, and your future. The vitamin I'm talking about is vitamin B6, B9, and B12. The trio often praised for lowering homocysteine, a compound in your blood linked to heart and brain health. These vitamins are sold everywhere. They promise sharper memory, better focus, and stronger nerves. But here's the shocking part for some people, especially when taken in isolation or at night, these very vitamins can do the opposite. They can trigger blood vessel instability, raise blood pressure during sleep, and even increase the risk of clot formation that could lead to a stroke. The reason lies deep inside how your brain and vascular system interact during rest. At night, your body's blood flow dynamics shift, your heart rate slows, your brain cleanses itself through a process called the glymphatic system, and your blood vessels relax to allow detoxification. This is the brain's repair window. But when certain vitamins are taken at the wrong time, they can hijack this delicate rhythm. Let's start with vitamin B6 or pyridoxine. It's essential for producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. However, when taken in high doses, which is common in many over-the-counter supplements, it becomes neurotoxic. During sleep, your brain's neuronal firing slows, but high circulating B6 levels can overstimulate neuron receptors, disrupting this restorative calm. The result is a surge in neural activity and microvascular constriction, essentially tightening the small arteries that supply your brain. This restriction, paired with dehydration or elevated blood pressure, creates a perfect storm for stroke risk. Most people wouldn't notice it. You might just wake up groggy with a headache or feeling mentally foggy, but beneath that subtle discomfort, your blood vessels are struggling. Now consider vitamin B12. It's crucial for red blood cell formation and nerve protection. Yet when injected or taken in large doses orally at night, it can spike blood production and temporarily thicken your plasma. This increases the viscosity, the thickness of your blood. When your blood becomes thicker at a time when your heart rate naturally slows, your circulation efficiency drops. Think of it as trying to pump syrup instead of water through tiny straws, your arteries. If you already have stiffened blood vessels from aging, poor diet, or smoking, that increased viscosity can be the difference between normal nighttime flow and a microclot lodging in a brain artery. That's the real danger. These microclots don't always cause an immediate full-blown stroke. Sometimes they cause mini strokes or TIAs, transient ischemic attacks, small temporary blockages that still damage brain tissue silently over time. Then there's folate, vitamin B9. It's often added to fortified cereals, energy bars, and supplements. Folate is vital for DNA repair and red blood cell production, but excess synthetic folic acid, the man-made version, can accumulate in your bloodstream if your liver can't convert it efficiently. That unprocessed folic acid can actually mask vitamin B12 deficiency, a dangerous trick that leads to nerve damage and vascular stress. Studies show that people with high folate but low active B12 have a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline and stroke. Yet most people pop a B complex supplement before bed without realizing how timing, dosage, and even genetics determine whether that capsule helps or harms. Let's go deeper into the biology. Homocysteine, the molecule these vitamins are meant to reduce, is a double-edged sword. In normal amounts, it's part of essential metabolic processes, but too much of it causes inflammation and damages the inner lining of blood vessels. The endothelium, when you take B6, B9, and B12, they help convert homocysteine into safer molecules. However, the process is energy intensive, and doing it during the night when your metabolism slows and your detox systems are prioritizing brain waste removal creates internal competition. Your brain can't fully dedicate resources to clearing neurotoxins like beta, amyloid, or tau proteins when it's busy metabolizing supplements. Over time, this disruption in nocturnal brain cleaning may contribute to both vascular and cognitive decline. There's also the circadian factor. Your body operates on a clock. Every organ has a rhythm. The liver, responsible for processing vitamins, peaks in detox activity around 1-3 a.m. If you've taken a B vitamin complex before bed, your liver is suddenly overloaded with nutrient processing. The second key to understanding why this vitamin combination can increase stroke risk overnight lies in timing, metabolism, and synergy, or more precisely, the lack of it. You see, our bodies were designed to absorb nutrients in harmony with food, light, and hormonal cycles. But modern supplementation completely ignores this biological rhythm. When you swallow a capsule of synthetic vitamins late at night, you're not nourishing your body, you're forcing it to work against its own internal clock. This is especially true for the B vitamin group. During daylight hours, your digestive enzymes, hormones, and cellular energy are optimized for nutrient processing. Your mitochondria, the energy factories of your cells, are active, your blood vessels are dynamic, and your brain's neurotransmitter levels fluctuate in a predictable way. But once darkness falls, your metabolism naturally shifts into repair and recovery. Taking vitamins during this period forces your liver, kidneys, and brain to reawaken systems that were meant to rest, creating biochemical turbulence that your body perceives as stress. When stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline rise in response to this internal conflict, your blood vessels constrict. Even subtle constriction can elevate nighttime blood pressure, particularly in the small, delicate arteries of the brain. This is where silent damage begins. The combination of elevated nighttime blood pressure, thickened blood viscosity from vitamin B12, and overstimulated neural firing from B6 creates a physiological environment ripe for vascular injury. Over time, these repeated micro insults can weaken the endothelial lining, the protective layer inside your blood vessels, leading to plaque instability and an increased risk of clots. What's worse is that you won't feel it happening. There's no alarm, no immediate pain, no obvious symptom. The danger is silent, cumulative, and devastating. Timing also influences absorption. For instance, when taken with food during the day, B vitamins enter your bloodstream gradually, buffered by other nutrients and digested over several hours. But taken on an empty stomach at night, absorption is rapid and unregulated. Blood levels spike quickly, overwhelming your body's ability to distribute and utilize them. These spikes can trigger oxidative stress, the buildup of reactive oxygen species that damage cells and DNA. Inside your arteries, oxidative stress oxidizes LDL cholesterol, which becomes sticky and inflammatory. That sticky cholesterol adheres to arterial walls, creating the foundation for plaque formation. And when plaques form in cerebral arteries, they can rupture under pressure, leading to ischemic or hemorrhagic strokes. Even more fascinating and alarming is how these vitamins interact with other nighttime factors. Many people take sleep aids, herbal teas, or medications like antihypertensives or antidepressants before bed. These can alter liver enzyme activity, slowing or speeding up vitamin metabolism. For example, melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep, naturally lowers blood pressure and relaxes blood vessels. But if your body is suddenly flooded with B12, which increases red blood cell production and boosts energy metabolism, you create an internal contradiction. One system says sleep and relax, the other says wake up and energize. That biochemical tug of war confuses the cardiovascular system, leading to erratic blood flow patterns and inconsistent vascular tone. Another critical factor is genetic variability. Some people have mutations in a gene called MTHFR, which controls how your body processes folate and homocysteine. If you have this mutation and you take synthetic folic acid at night, your liver struggles to convert it into its active form, methylfolate. The unconverted folic acid lingers in your bloodstream, where it may actually interfere with the metabolism of other vitamins. Over time, this imbalance raises homocysteine instead of lowering it, directly increasing the risk of endothelial damage and clot formation. For someone with a healthy lifestyle and no major health issues, this might manifest as brain fog or fatigue. But in someone with hypertension, diabetes, or a history of vascular inflammation, it could be the tipping point toward a stroke. What's particularly troubling is that the supplement industry rarely talks about timing or context. Labels focus on dosage but ignore chronobiology, the science of timing in physiology. Studies show that nutrient metabolism follows a circadian pattern, and ignoring it can transform a beneficial compound into a harmful one. Think of caffeine. It's great in the morning, but disruptive at night. Vitamins are no different. The right compound at the wrong time becomes toxic, and while your body may tolerate this for days or weeks, the accumulation of small vascular stresses, especially in the brain, can have irreversible consequences. When people experience restless sleep, migraines, or sudden dizziness upon waking, they rarely suspect their vitamins. Yet these are early warning signs that the brain's vascular balance has been disturbed. In brain imaging studies, even mild intermittent vessel constriction can reduce oxygen delivery to specific regions, impairing cognitive function over time. It's like dimming the lights in certain parts of your brain, slowly, quietly, without you noticing until your focus, memory, or mood begins to shift. This is how the seeds of vascular dementia are planted, often decades before symptoms appear. But here's what makes this even more deceptive. B vitamins initially make you feel good. You might feel a temporary boost in alertness or mood after taking them. That's because they accelerate neurotransmitter synthesis and increase circulation temporarily. But this high is misleading. It's your body's stress response to sudden chemical stimulation. Afterward, when your brain enters its natural rest phase, it crashes harder. That crash is when blood flow slows, vessels constrict further, and clot risk rises. This rebound effect is what makes nighttime supplementation particularly risky. All of this points to one powerful truth. Nutrition is not just about what you take, but when and how your body receives it. Timing determines toxicity. Your body has the third crucial piece of this puzzle, is understanding how the balance between nutrients and the foods you eat determines whether a vitamin protects your brain or poisons it. The human brain doesn't thrive on isolated compounds, it thrives on synergy. Every vitamin, mineral, and antioxidant interacts with hundreds of biochemical pathways. When you isolate one nutrient like B6, B9, or B112 and flood your body with it without its natural partners, you unbalance the orchestra that keeps your circulation and neurons in harmony. In nature, vitamins never exist alone. When you eat salmon, you get omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, selenium, and B12 in a balanced ratio. When you eat leafy greens, you're not just consuming folate, you're also taking in fiber, magnesium, and phytonutrients that regulate how folate is absorbed and used. But when you take synthetic supplements, you bypass this balance. You're introducing a concentrated chemical without the supporting cast that nature designed to keep it safe. And when this happens at night, when your body's repair mechanisms are active, it creates chaos inside your brain's vascular network. Let's consider what happens metabolically. B vitamins are water soluble, which means they're absorbed quickly and excreted through urine. But excreted doesn't mean harmless. During the breakdown process, these vitamins generate reactive byproducts that must be neutralized by antioxidants like glutathione. If your diet is poor in fruits, vegetables, or other antioxidant sources, your liver struggles to neutralize these byproducts. This creates oxidative stress a biochemical storm that inflames the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. Inflammation makes these vessels sticky and less elastic, increasing the chances of platelets clumping together to form microclots. These microclots don't always cause dramatic strokes immediately. Instead, they may cause transient ischemic events, mini strokes that cause small bursts of confusion, blurred vision, or weakness lasting a few seconds. Over time, this micro damage accumulates, leading to subtle but lasting harm to brain tissue. Now imagine this scenario repeating night after night. You take your multivitamin before bed thinking you're supporting your health. Meanwhile, your liver, deprived of antioxidants, is working overtime to detoxify the excess. Your brain, trying to clear metabolic waste, faces reduced blood flow. Your arteries become slightly more rigid. The next morning, you feel tired despite sleeping, perhaps with a faint headache or a sense of brain fog. You dismiss it as stress or dehydration, but in truth, your vascular system is under strain. The silent damage continues. Months or years later, this cumulative strain becomes visible as high blood pressure, memory loss, or even the earliest stages of vascular dementia. Dietary context also determines how your body uses these vitamins. For example, vitamin B6 works closely with magnesium and zinc to synthesize neurotransmitters. Without adequate magnesium, found in nuts, seeds, and whole grains, high B6 intake becomes toxic to nerves. Similarly, vitamin B12 requires active folate to be properly utilized, and both depend on sufficient protein intake for their transport mechanisms. This is why people on restrictive or imbalanced diets, especially those who supplement heavily, face greater risks. If you consume these vitamins without adequate cofactors, your body can't properly use them. Instead, they circulate unbound, interacting unpredictably with your blood chemistry. This is not nutrition, it's biochemical gambling. And at night, when your metabolic clearance slows, the odds turn even worse. The gut plays a surprisingly large role here too. Your gut bacteria help convert and regulate B vitamins naturally produced in your intestines. However, when you take synthetic doses, especially in the form of cyanocobalamin, cheap B12 form, or folic acid, they bypass microbial regulation and flood your bloodstream directly. This sudden influx confuses your body's feedback mechanisms. It stops signaling your gut bacteria to produce natural forms, disrupting your microbiome balance. A disrupted microbiome releases inflammatory cytokines that affect blood-brain barrier permeability. When this barrier weakens, toxins and immune cells can infiltrate the brain, creating low-grade inflammation that contributes to both vascular and cognitive decline. Scientists now believe this chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the earliest triggers of stroke and Alzheimer's disease. Furthermore, the misconception that more is better adds fuel to this fire. Many supplements contain doses several times higher than the recommended daily allowance. Vitamin B6 toxicity can occur at doses as low as 100 mg daily, leading to sensory neuropathy, damage to nerve endings that impairs coordination and sensation. This toxicity is slow, often unnoticed until permanent damage occurs. At night, when nerve repair is most active, high circulating B6 interferes with regeneration, leaving nerves vulnerable. High B12 doses, particularly when taken in isolation, have also been associated with increased risk of certain cancers and cardiovascular issues in long-term studies, possibly due to overstimulation of cell growth pathways. Yet, most people never consider these long-term consequences when chasing the short-term energy boost or cognitive enhancement promised by supplement marketing. Another key issue is that nighttime supplementation often occurs without hydration. When you take vitamins with insufficient water, especially before bed, you slow renal clearance. The kidneys can't efficiently filter out excess compounds, so they linger in circulation longer. This prolongs oxidative exposure to blood vessels. And during sleep, when your blood pressure naturally dips and circulation slows, these lingering compounds have more time to interact with vascular tissue. Imagine a river that flows slowly overnight. Debris has more time to settle and stick to the riverbed. That's precisely what happens inside your arteries. It's a microscopic but relentless process of vascular clogging. Let's not forget the influence of modern food fortification. Many foods, cereals, bread, energy drinks are already fortified with synthetic B vitamins. This means even without supplements, most people consume far more than the natural requirement. When you add supplements on top of that, you're doubling or tripling the intake, especially of folic acid. This excess doesn't just sit idly, it interferes with natural feedback systems in your DNA methylation processes, which regulate gene expression. Dysregulated methylation can activate genes that promote inflammation and deactivate those that suppress it. The result is a genetic environment that favors vascular instability, the silent foundation of stroke risk. Ultimately, the message is simple but profound. A vitamin in isolation is not inherently safe just because it's natural or essential. It must be consumed in the right ratio, at the right time, and with the right dietary context. Your body doesn't operate like a supplement label, it operates like a symphony. Every note must align with the others, or the harmony turns to noise. When you ignore the biological rhythm and synergy of nutrients, you transform medicine into poison. Vitamins are powerful. But without food synergy, without antioxidant protection, and without proper hydration, they can silently shift from being brain protectors to brain predators. And the most dangerous part, you won't feel it happening until the damage is already done. You said, keynotes, no one expand it into 1,000 words, don't any heady. ChatGPT said, the vitamin that has shocked many neurologists and vascular researchers alike isn't some obscure or rare compound. It's one that millions of people take every single day believing they're doing something good for their brain and heart. I'm talking about vitamin B6, B9, and B12, the so-called neurovitamins. They are marketed as brain boosters, mood enhancers, and heart protectors. They're in every pharmacy shelf, every longevity supplement, and even in many breakfast cereals. But here's the unsettling truth. Taken the wrong way, in the wrong amount, or at the wrong time of day, these very same vitamins can quietly increase your risk of having a stroke even overnight. It sounds unbelievable because how could something as common as a vitamin harm the very organ it's supposed to nourish? The answer lies in the way your body's chemistry changes when you sleep and how these vitamins interfere with the brain's nocturnal repair system. At night, your cardiovascular system behaves differently than it does during the day. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure dips, and your brain enters its detoxification cycle through a network called the glymphatic system. This is when your brain literally washes itself, clearing away metabolic waste that accumulates from thinking, moving, and reacting throughout the day. For this system to work properly, blood flow through the tiny arteries in your brain must remain smooth and unobstructed. But when large doses of B vitamins, particularly B6 and B12, are circulating at that time, they can alter this delicate balance. High levels of B6 stimulate your nervous system, increasing neural excitability just when your brain is supposed to be in its calmest state. Instead of allowing blood vessels to relax and widen, excess B6 triggers constriction of small arteries, restricting blood flow. This sudden narrowing of vessels can cause tiny drops in oxygen delivery to brain tissue, micro ischemic events that accumulate damage over time. You won't feel these as pain. You might just wake up with a dull headache, dizziness, or fatigue. But each of those moments is your brain's way of signaling that something deeper is going wrong. Vitamin B12 adds another dangerous layer when taken incorrectly. B12 helps form red blood cells, and in healthy balance, it's vital for oxygen transport. But in high supplemental doses, particularly from synthetic forms like cyanocobalamin, it can increase red blood cell production to a level that makes your blood thicker and more viscous. Thicker blood moves more slowly, and slow-moving blood is far more likely to form clots. During the night, your heart naturally pumps more gently. Combine that with thickened blood, narrowed vessels, and a slower circulatory rhythm, and you have a perfect setup for stagnation and clot formation. These clots may be microscopic at first, but they can block the smallest capillaries in your brain, the ones responsible for nourishing neurons in critical areas related to speech, balance, or memory. If a larger clot forms and dislodges, it can travel upward to a major artery in the brain, triggering a full-blown ischemic stroke before morning. Folate, or vitamin B9, complicates the picture even further. It's essential for DNA repair and cell division, but the synthetic form, folic acid, behaves differently in the body than the natural folate found in vegetables. Your liver must convert folic acid into its active form, but this conversion isn't efficient in everyone. Many people have a genetic variation that slows this process, leaving unmetabolized folic acid circulating in the bloodstream. This unprocessed compound can mask vitamin B12 deficiency, leading to nerve damage and elevated homocysteine levels, a toxic amino acid known to injure blood vessel linings. Elevated homocysteine makes arteries inflamed and sticky, encouraging plaque formation and thrombosis. Ironically, the very vitamins that are meant to lower homocysteine can, in the wrong conditions, drive it higher, turning prevention into risk. When researchers examined the relationship between B vitamins and vascular events, they discovered a paradox. Moderate doses taken in food form tend to protect the brain and heart, but large doses in synthetic form, especially when taken alone or at night, increase stroke risk. One major clinical study found that people with high serum B6 and B12 levels had a significantly higher incidence of cardiovascular events, including stroke, compared to those with normal levels. Why? Because these vitamins alter the balance of nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for keeping blood vessels flexible. Too much of certain B vitamins depletes nitric oxide, leading to stiffness and microspasms in the arteries. Stiff arteries can't expand properly when blood surges, and the resulting turbulence increases clotting risk. This is particularly dangerous during nighttime when circulation slows and oxygen demand remains high. The timing of intake is a critical factor. During the day, your body uses energy rapidly and metabolizes nutrients efficiently. Your blood flow is active, your liver enzymes are in full swing, and your nervous system is alert. But at night, your metabolic rate drops. If you introduce high doses of stimulating nutrients like B6 and B12 before sleep, your body doesn't metabolize them efficiently. They linger in circulation, overstimulating neurons and blood vessels. It's like revving an engine when the car is in park. The energy has nowhere to go, and the system overheats. This overheating shows up in subtle ways: increased nighttime heart rate, restlessness, vivid dreams, or difficulty staying asleep. Over time, these are all red flags of vascular strain and neurochemical imbalance. There's another hidden factor: dehydration. Many people take their supplements with little or no water. At night, this becomes dangerous because your body already loses fluids. You said keynotes know to expand into 1,000 words. Don't any heading ChatGPT said. The second part of this discovery reveals that the danger of this vitamin combination doesn't come only from the vitamin itself, but from how the body's biological clock responds to it. Our bodies are governed by rhythms, precise cycles that control everything from heart rate to hormone release. When you take vitamins during the wrong phase of that rhythm, you disrupt the harmony of your internal chemistry. During the day, when sunlight signals your body to stay alert, your metabolism runs high, blood vessels are active, and digestion is optimized to process nutrients. But at night, everything slows down. Your brain diverts blood to its cleaning system, your liver begins its detox phase, and your body conserves energy. Taking supplements during this time is like forcing your body to work overtime when it was designed to rest. What feels harmless can, in fact, be a form of biochemical stress that silently raises your stroke risk while you sleep. The timing of vitamin intake changes its entire physiological effect. When B vitamins enter your bloodstream, they immediately trigger a rise in metabolic activity. They tell your cells to wake up, burn energy, and produce neurotransmitters. This is beneficial during daylight when your body is in performance mode. But if you take these vitamins at night, you confuse that rhythm. The brain, which should be slowing down for restoration, suddenly receives signals of activation. Neurons begin